Hey, welcome back to the Real Heroes Show. Corey and Nick here with you as always. And in today's
Yo.
episode, we're going to be going over the first two episodes of season 2 of Mythic Quest over on Apple TV Plus. So there will be spoilers for those two episodes. You have been warned. Nick, how are you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah. Do you enjoy laughter? Do you like laughing?
From time to time, I would say.
Do you enjoy funny things?
Absolutely.
Because this show is very funny.
Yes, I'd have to agree. This is my style of humor here.
This show, so season 1 came out last year, and I had seen a trailer for it, and I was like, that looks like some dumb World of Warcraft shit, and I don't know if I'm really interested in it, right? And then at the suggestion of a friend, he was like, it's really funny, you should check it out. I watched it, and my girlfriend and I loved it, and we couldn't wait for the second season to come out. We didn't have this show to discuss it last year, so we're really excited to be able to dive into season 2. And I think, like we kind of talked about offline, season 1 was good, right? It wasn't great. It wasn't like the most spectacular show we'd ever seen. Funny moments, and it did enough.
Groundbreaking.
It did enough to hook you in and get you excited for where it was heading. And then a couple weeks ago, they do this like in between season 1 and 2 episode called Everlight, where they like threw out all the stops. They got Anthony Hopkins to narrate the thing. There was like CGI and all this wild stuff that happened, and it also had me just like rolling with laughter because I thought it was absolutely hysterical. And then so that got me personally really hyped for these first couple episodes that were coming out. I thought we were only going to get one this week. We ended up getting 2, and I thought they were both much better than anything season 1 had given us. So I would love to hear your thoughts. In no particular order, we're just covering episodes 1 and 2.
I mean, I would have to agree. I think season 1 was good. A lot of the cast members I've been a fan of. Rob McElhenney, who is it? David Hornsby from It's Always Sunny, Danny Pudi, and I can't think of the actor's name. CW, who was from Homeland.
So funny.
If anyone's ever seen Homeland before,
shit.
His character is so different than what I've seen him in from Homeland.
He's so blissfully unaware.
God, yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Yep, the part where he's like, "We're a threesome. We should stick together," and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
And the best thing, they filmed it during the pandemic, and he's like old, so they're like, "Just stay home, and we'll work it into the story that you're just remoting in for work." It's great, and it's an Apple show, so FaceTime is a very appropriate thing. But
it was. I think from Everlight, that Everlight episode, what they did, kind of it don't say it blew me away, but it just exceeded my expectations as to what they were going to do. Like when they got into like the magic fight, when they actually brought in the CGI effects, I was like, holy shit! Like this sort of dark sorcery crap like that they're throwing in there was great. And I know it's not like a direct follow-up to how season 1 was, but when they started off season 2 here with like, we're going to create an expansion, I'm like, well, this is exactly what I'm used to as a fellow MMO player for a couple decades of my life.
So that strikes a major chord with you.
A lot
they're speaking your language, right?
Yeah, a lot of what was done. It's like I'm like, Jesus, like there's so much to sort of take away from what happened in season 1. So, piquing my curiosity as to see how things are going to do in season 2. I think between the 2 episodes that we got, episode 1 was a lot funnier than episode 2.
I think so.
you know, I think the whole concept of like wanting to fuck your boss.
It's a power thing, Nick. That's all.
I can honestly say, with a hand on the Bible, saying I've never had that thought before, because
You and I have worked together before,
yes,
and it's probably a good thing that you haven't had that thought.
It's really awkward and weird.
Oh man.
Like but every time there would be like this scene, and then like Poppy would wake up, you know, and or even telling when Poppy's telling what's his face David about like how it all went down, how like the name came out, like, you know, Ian whispered it in your ear, and then
yeah, and she does these weird little
she's like is that sex to you? Yeah, I'm really good at it.
I'm good at it. And everyone's like, okay, relax, you're good at it,
calm down. Like but then I think at the end, right before the episode ends, it's Ian, sorry, and it's Ian next to him as well. He
wakes up next to himself, and he's like, man, that was really good.
That was I was like, that was great. Like, oh gosh, I've never had that thought either. Very awkward.
Very narcissistic.
Yes, very narcissistic. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with what was it, Titan's Rift?
Titan's Rift, yeah.
So
no more Raven's Banquet. We're on to Titan's Rift.
Yeah.
But at first it was going to be Sea of Ashes, and everyone was like, no, that's...
She's like, just scratch it.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
That. I love, though, like, we've established, obviously, the chemistry between Ian and Poppy is great. Like, they're phenomenal together. But
absolutely,
the show does a really good job in a 30-minute episode format of letting every cast member have like an individual moment, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I guess Rachel and Dana, I think, are the two testers. You know, they have their moment. Carol, the HR lady, has her moment. She has a couple in the first episode.
She's great.
She's so through with all of their shit.
I don't see you.
It's wonderful.
I don't hear you. Like,
I don't want to see you, and I don't want to hear you. And then when the two testers finally kiss in the parking garage, she watches them kiss, and then they go in for a second one, and she honks the horn. She's like, I'll watch the first one, but I ain't sitting around for a second one.
Yeah.
Mazel tov, and don't fuck in the office. Just so funny, like absolutely hysterical, but like really sweet and heartfelt. Like there are touching emotional moments in the show that balance out the humor, which is just fantastic. I turned to Jen after we watched these first two, and I was like, this is like this generation's version of The Office or Parks and Rec.
I think so.
I think it's going to turn into that by the time all is said and done. Because it's like laugh out loud hilarious, but then also very touching, and it hits on a lot of points. Like
it does,
especially in the second episode. There's the whole thing where Poppy does the speech for the women in gaming, and while that whole thing is hilarious, it hits on a lot of points that are the struggles that women tend to have in the workplace, right? Which is why at the end of her fumbling over like everything, they erupt in applause, right? It's great. And then there's the gag where they brought the fucking drunk history guy in to be the guy from the art department, and they shit all over the art department for the entire episode. And they talk about how they're overworked, and like you see it, like if you follow the video game industry at all, that's a big talking point in that industry right now, is how overworked a lot of employees are, and meeting deadlines and all that other kind of stuff, and they're not afraid to go after it. It's awesome.
Yeah, the dev teams get a lot of flack with a lot of games right now. You know, a couple games I personally play. It's a feedback from players is very, very harsh a lot of times. And
like I think about like Cyberpunk and all the blowback that game had when it first came out, like, but that's because those guys were pressed up against like deadline after deadline after deadline.
Yeah.
When what's that? Is that Project Red? Is the company
Project Red? Yeah.
They were like, no, there won't be any deadlines. We're not going to overwork people, and then there were deadlines, and they overworked people. So
yeah. I'll even say quickly, just to sort of tack on, Outriders, loot shooter game, has. I enjoy it. I still play it, but same thing with devs having to respond to a lot of bugs, a lot of fixes, and it's kind of what the guy from the art department said is like, we've never nailed anything on the first time, and there's a lot of truth behind that. So I think a lot of what they've put in the show is very on point. Especially in the second episode where Brad's like, I'm going to develop a mobile game, and like. It's like, but people hate mobile games. They're only good to play when you're on the shitter. And I'm like thinking to myself, but I play mobile games. And I've been playing a mobile game for one game for over, like, I don't know, it's been over 2 fucking years.
Do you play it on the shitter though?
I play it everywhere. That's the problem.
That's a yes.
Yes, I do play it on the shitter. Like I'll play in between sets when I'm at the gym. Shout out to my alliance out there who supports this channel. So
nice.
But it's like one of those things where, like, in that game that I play, Marvel Strike Force, shout out. They fucked up big time just now, like where they had to do the huge rollback for everyone. People lost real money. They lost.
Oh wow.
It was the worst bug I've seen in a game in a while. So again, like seeing what they've established in Mythic Quest here, and how much they have to overwork, and then like at the end when they're showing the mobile game off, what was it? The goat.
Grouchy Goat or whatever.
Grouchy Goat, yeah. And Brad sits down. He's like, all right, give it to me. And they talk, and he's like, nope.
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah. Like, and then Joe betrays them, and like, yeah.
We need to talk about Joe.
Yes.
Because Joe she's unleashed in this season so far. She's no longer with David, and she's now with Brad, and she's turning into the spawn of Satan himself. I loved when she threw the laptop right in the garbage can. Like, it's an Apple TV Plus show, right? They're only using Apple products. That's like a $1,300 laptop
at least.
And she slammed it, threw it right in the trash can. Done. And then the way that she just like she betrays Rachel and Dana at the presentation, and Brad's like, did you just betray them and take all the credit for all the work they did? And she's like, yes. And he's like, good job.
there's a lesson behind this.
Yeah.
Later losers, like, I mean, when they're doing the mocap and she's like in the sound booth or whatever, and she turns around, like presses the mic, and she's like, stupid fuckface, you asshole, like you're worthless. Like, like, you okay in there, Joe? He's like, turns around, yeah, something is missing, Rachel, you're right. Like, her character is great, and I think paired up with Brad in the show,
perfect,
by Danny Pudi, like,
he's
great. I love him. If anyone's ever seen Community, his acting in this is like Dark Abed. I'm excited because I feel like we didn't really get a lot of Brad in the first season, and I think what this season has already done is it's kind of spreading out the time, the screen time.
And even the Everlight thing, because he ended up being like the big bad.
He comes in at the end. It's like, if I win, you have to cancel the whole thing.
To cancel it. He's the guy that everybody hates, and he doesn't care, and that's like the best thing about his character. He's like, yeah, I know you hate me, I don't give a shit.
It's like when Dana and Rachel were like, we're together now. He's like, the fact that you thought that mattered to this organization here is both disappointing and insulting, and I don't give a shit about it. Like, I just like shit like that just makes me laugh. I don't know. Like,
it's good.
It's very It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia type esque humor, and obviously with Rob and McElhenney and Charlie Day being involved, like,
I think they're co-creators, and then the third co-creator is also an executive producer and writer on Always Sunny. So it's literally like basically
a spinoff
made by them. So
yeah,
but it's excellent, and I just got, and I have to give credit to Apple TV because we haven't talked about a lot of their stuff on this channel yet. Their production values are super high. That show is beautifully shot. It's beautifully lit. And I don't want to talk down about a lot of the other streaming services, but when it comes to video and audio quality, the streams from Apple TV blow every single other provider out of the water.
Oh yeah.
So it makes for a really enjoyable viewing experience as well.
It's a good watch,
which is great. And I think for most people, Apple TV is like free right now. I don't even think they're charging people for it yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually paid for.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start charging people like right before season 2 of Ted Lasso, which is probably a genius business move.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so coming out of the gate, I don't know how many episodes this season's gonna be, but
I don't either.
For these first 2, how would you rank them?
It's a toughie, I think. I'd want to say again, the first episode was better than the second, so I might give the first episode an 8.
Okay.
And I might give the second episode maybe like a 7.3 ish. Okay. I'm gonna get granular with that one because I think the parts with Joe and the Poppy speech at that whole scene was just
terrific.
Excellent. Like
so
highlight of the episode. She's great in that show. I love. She's one of my favorite characters. I think I'm allergic to crabs. Yeah. I think we just tooted again. Like plus her accent is just it's one of my favorite accents out there. So
yeah, between her and Omega on Star Wars: The Bad Batch,
the Aussie accents, man,
wonderful, man.
Where they at?
It's great. So
what about you?
I would say the first one I'd probably give maybe like an 8.25. And then the second one, like a 7 or a 7.5, because it still had me laughing a lot.
Right.
The first episode, I was like,
I
almost had to hit pause on the show and catch my breath because it was killing me. It was
I was some deep wheezes there.
Yeah, they're off to a very strong start, and I'm excited to see where they take it and what other silly shenanigans they've got up their sleeves. So so that'll do it for this video. I don't know how we'll continue reviewing this, if we'll do 2 episodes at a time or 1 episode at a time, but Nick and I are going to cover this entire season because we're both very invested in it. So we'd love to hear from you guys. If you've watched these episodes, let us know what you think, what jokes hit for you. Is this shaping up to be better than the first season? Drop us a line below and let us know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on those notifications so that way you never miss any future videos from us. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.